Good morning and welcome to day 3 of our Cozy Wrap Sew Along. Today we'll be working with the bottom bands. We have 3 pieces, 2 shorter ones and 1 longer one, which is the one for the back. You'll need your front and back piece sewn from yesterday. So what I went ahead and did before is press my bands right sides out, so wrong sides together along the length, gave them a good press and steam, and I did this for all 3 bands. As you can see, 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to create the bands and then we'll attach them to the actual cardigan. Let's start by sewing the bottom band. For the front pieces, we're only going to be sewing one of the sides. The one that goes on the inside of the shirt or the side. So, because we have done the memory hem, now it's super easy to just sew right sides together and flip, and it's done. So this is the front. This one will be left raw. And repeat for the other band. Again, right sides together now on one of the ends. And the other one, we left it the way it is, raw. We leave it the way it is. Okay, turn it again, right side out, give it a press, and that's it. You have your 2 front bands. And then we're gonna go ahead and stitch the back band, but on the back we'll be stitching on both ends. We'll do the back. This is the longer piece, but the same steps. And the other side. And again, like I mentioned before, this whole project can be done on a sewing machine. I prefer my serger and cover stitch, but you don't have to. You can do this whole project on a sewing machine. Wherever you see me using the serger, you just use your favorite stretch stitch on your sewing machine, like the lightning bolt or a zigzag stitch. So now you want to turn, grab the back of your cardigan, and you want to match the edges. This band has a 1-to-1 ratio with the bottom, so there will be no stretching involved. So I like to pin on one side. This is how it looks like. And then pin along the raw edges. Let me just make sure I start with the ends. And don't stretch the fabric. So I have a few pins. This is the bottom of the back, and I'm going to stitch this down with 1/2 inch seam allowance. serger tails, because now on both ends you will have serger thread tails. You can finish them off however you're more comfortable with. I will link in today's blog, and I do believe it's linked in the pattern as well, Patterns for Pirates University post that I've done a few years ago, where I show you various options on finishing the serger tails. I think I'm showing you 5 options. The easiest one is what I'm doing right now, is tying a knot and cutting it. And that's my preferred method. There are more neater ones, but I don't stress about that. This is my preferred one. Okay, so your bottom band looks like this. Optionally, you can top stitch it with the seam allowance up. Not optionally, very encouraged, is to give it a good press to reduce all the waviness that comes from stitching knit fabric. Now that the back bottom band is added, we're going to add the front, and for the front you want to lay your fabric right side up, and then grab one of the front bands, and the one that we have sewn before will be attached to the side seam, so where there is no raw edge, and you'll pin in place. And at the front you'll be pinning in place the raw edge to the raw edge. So this is on the inside of the shirt. So this is how it looks like. Front is raw on both the band and the shirt, and the inside towards the side seam where you have the split, it's the folded one. And stitch this down with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Use your preferred method to end the serger tail there, and optionally top stitch. I might do some top stitching with my cover stitch. On this side it's raw, so where the serger tail is right now, that's raw, and that will be enclosed with the neckline. I believe that's tomorrow's step. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on the other side, again with the band that's left. The band that does not have the raw edge goes to the side seam, right here, and the part with the raw edge goes towards the front. And I'll just put a couple of pins throughout. And stitch it down with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Top stitch it with your cover stitch, with a twin needle, with a zigzag stitch, or simply just leave it without top stitching it. I do not think that pressing is optional, so So go ahead and give your bottom hem a good steam press and press your seam allowance up on the inside. And snap a picture of your progress. This will be your day 3 progress, and post it in the comments of the day 3 photo in the Sew Along album on in the Facebook group. This will count as your check-in for today, and I will see you back here tomorrow, where I believe we're doing either the sleeves or the neckline. I have to check the schedule. Talk to you soon. Bye.